the Dutch TT. It's 74th running as part of the World Championship. Revs up, and we are underway as the lights go out, and it's a fantastic start from Bagnaia actually alongside Marco Bezzecchi. Look at Brad Binder as well. Bezzecchi's going from pole down to third place, and Binder launches it in at turn one, and Binder takes over from the second row of the grid on the KTM. What a start for the South African, with Bagnaia in second place, Bezzecchi in third, and one of the Aprilias in fourth place, Neil.
Oh, I mean, Binder up the inside. I mean, it didn't need a second invitation. There was a slight gap, he went for it, and it's paid off.
And a good start it was for Aleix Espargaro on the Aprilia. He's got up into fourth place from sixth on the grid. Then it's Luca Marini behind Miguel Oliveira from 11th on the grid. He's up into sixth place. He got barged out a couple of times yesterday. I reckon he'll have good pace here today if physically he can make it count. He's just ahead of his old sparring partner Maverick Vinales, but through the second bar for the first time, and it's Brad Binder leading from Pecco Bagnaia and Marco Bezzecchi. We've got a race on here, Neil.
Oh, we've definitely got a race on. There's one thing we've learned: Binder's difficult to pass. And he's angry. He got that penalty in the sprint race, going on the green on the last lap, having to lose 2 places. He thought he'd finished third. He didn't even realise he'd clipped the green.
Not a great start for Fabio Quartararo, Neil. He's down in 12th, having started on the second row of the grid.
Yeah, I mean, absolute nightmare.
Oh, Miller down. It was Vinales retaking Miller down into turn one, and Miller trying to hang on, and Jack Miller has crashed out of his this race. Third crash for him this season in the Grand Prix.
Here we go, Bagnaia's going to have a go into here now.
Into the Staccaval, is it? Yes, here we go then. Now Binder, oh, someone's gone down, and we can't see who it is, but someone behind, is it? Who's it going to be? Someone right from that pack in front of Morbidelli. Zarco, is it? Perhaps? No, it's Fabio Quartararo. It is a French rider, but unfortunately it's the Yamaha of Fabio Quartararo.
And Zarco.
And it is Zarco. It's the two French riders together. Oh my goodness me, and that's through turn 7, you know. This is fast. This is going to be really fast. I'm not liking what this is going to look like, Neil, because that is a place where serious injuries happen, but the two French riders have crashed out together in the Ruskenhoek.
Yeah, that's where...
Oh, it's the front going, isn't it, for Quartararo, and just collects Zarco. Nothing he can do in that situation.
No, just a racing incident.
Yeah, and having to be helped away. Yesterday there was a glimmer of hope, wasn't there, for Fabio Quartararo and Yamaha, but today that's ended in the dust, I'm afraid.
Yeah, the glimmer of hope, but it was the same comments after the race. He said, I can't carry the corner speed. If I don't carry the corner speed, what happens is, as I accelerate from a slower speed, because I'm hindered by having a bike in front.
Oh, that's another Vinales in there, and it's Maverick Vinales.
Can you believe it?
Had to be, just when we're talking about, didn't it? Had to be. And Maverick Vinales has crashed out. That's his 4th DNF in Grand Prix races this year. He had a disastrous weekend in Sachsenring, and he's looking as if to say, I don't know what's gone wrong. Oh, couldn't be anything to do with, no, I was going to say, I thought it might be to do with the gravel on track. I feel Marco Bezzecchi is coming here. 3/10 quicker than Bagnaia on that last lap. Here he goes into the Ruskenhoek now, right on cue. Turn 6, Marco Bezzecchi through on Binder. So the 3Bs out front now. It's Bagnaia, Bezzecchi, Binder trying to come back at the Staccaval. Bezzecchi hangs on. Can he claw back the gap to Bagnaia out front? Binder trying, that was where he touched on the green yesterday. Very, very close to it, but unable to get the drive he needs. Here we go, into turn 10. Oh, I was thinking Binder was going to lunge. There is a move there. We've seen it over the years in that double apex right at Mandeveen.
Yeah, and you know what? You could tell that Bezzecchi could sense him. So Bezzecchi was braking later than he really wanted to, just trying to block him, because he knows if he can break free of Binder, which I think he might have done now. I'll say that.
Brakes. I'm thinking down into the chicane. Binder's got the run. Binder's going to try and launch surely on the brakes down into the chicane, but no. Bezzecchi hangs on in front of him, and Binder will have to come up with something else. But I just think in terms of the race, what's the pace on that lap for Bezzecchi? He's made the pass, so he lost 3/10 to Bagnaia on that lap, and now he's got a little bit of clear air. Unfortunately, he's got that terrier again tacking onto the back of him.
Yeah, it's weirdly, he's got to just forget about Binder. He can't ride defensive. If he does ride defensive, he's got no chance of catching Bagnaia or even breaking away from Binder.
And across the line, there'll be 3 to go, and Martin is looking really strong. He is lurking, isn't he? in this situation, Binder, Espargaro, Martin, 3 to go, the way the pace is, who's your favourite?
It's difficult to call. I'd go with Binder, only because he's so late on the brakes. He's so difficult to pass.
Right, here we go then, last lap time in the Dutch TT, 2.8 miles of this famous old venue. Into the Osnabrücken now, still that front flapping about on Aleix Espargaro's bike. Up to the Strubben. No way now for Espargaro. You feel like he's setting up a lunge, but can he get enough drive here?
Doesn't look like it, does it? Coming out of that corner, he said all year that he's struggled with acceleration. You can see there.
He's going to have Martin as a problem here. I reckon that he's going to go for it. Chicane last lap, trying to run around the high part of the Ruskenhoek into the Steckenwald, carrying as much corner speed, the real strength of that Aprilia, but he's got to keep an eye on Jorge Martin behind him. Into the vault they go. Final time, Bagnaia, the gap to Bezzecchi, staying solid at 1 second. Bezzecchi ever so slightly closing, and Aleix Espargaro taking a tight line now. He knows that he's got Jorge Martin for company.
It's the last thing you want, last lap. You're absolutely exhausted. You've just got to be perfect through these last 3 corners. I don't think anyone's going to be close enough to have a go.
Well, Jorge Martin might fancy it on his mate. Here he goes running the pace up towards the chicane for the final time. Pecco Bagnaia is going to win the Dutch TT for the 2nd year in a row. The champion and championship leader extends it with victory here ahead of Bezzecchi, and Brad Binder gets his podium. Aleix Espargaro by 9,000ths of a second over Jorge Martin. What a grandstand finish for that battle for 4th place. But Bagnaia back in business here in Assen. He was beaten to the line last time out in Germany, but he takes his 4th victory of the season.
Stunning, really. Controlled the race, didn't take nowhere first part of the weekend, but he's done what you'd expect him to do as the current world champion. Worked hard, copied his mate's homework, and got a motorcycle that works underneath him. He'll be so pleased with that win.
You joking me? What?
He's not going to believe it. This is exactly what happened yesterday.
What have we missed?
Surely it's not the same part of the track. It's actually more clear this time.
Really?
But Jorge Martin behind looks like he's on it as well, but obviously he isn't.
Well, no, he has. I'm sure Martin, track limits warning.